Hello students, welcome back to your economics class. So up till now you all learned that poor households, they are dependent on informal sources or informal methods to source their credit to take loans. And why was that so? Because banks are not present everywhere in rural India. And even if they are present, getting a loan from bank is so much more difficult than taking a loan from an informal source. What do they have to do? What do these rural people have to do in an informal source? Go and request a person, negotiate, the rate of interest or the terms, and done. Bank is not going to negotiate any sort of terms. Yes. So we saw that bank loans require lots of documentation and collateral. And absence of collateral is a major reason that prevents the poor people from getting bank loans. Now, informal lenders, such as money lenders or friends or relatives, they know the borrower personally, and so they are ready to give the loan without any collateral. So the informal lenders, they know the borrower personally. They know the one whom they are giving the loan personally, so they are ready to give the loan without keeping any collateral. Okay, and the borrowers, they can also approach the money lenders without repaying the earlier loans. So if you have borrowed money from me and you want to borrow the money again without repaying my earlier loan, you can come and approach me. But if you go to a bank without paying one loan, you cannot take another loan. Yes. And the money lenders, they charge very high rate of interest, and they keep no records of transactions and harass the poor borrowers. I don't think they keep no records of transactions. They definitely keep records of the transactions, but they just keep a record to keep an upper hand on them. Okay, so now recently there have been newer ways of providing loans to the poor. Okay, so we come across something called as self-help groups. The idea of the self-help group is to organize the rural poor, especially the women, into small self-help groups and collect or pool their savings. A typical self-help group has around 50 to 20 members, and they belong to the same neighborhood, and they meet and they save regularly, and saving per member will differ depending on their financial conditions, from rupees 25 to rupees 100 or even more in some cases. Okay, it all depends on the ability of people in that neighborhood to save. Okay, and then members can take small loans from the group itself to meet their needs. The group charges interest on these loans, but this is still less than what the money lenders charges. So the group charges an interest on these loans, but it is still less than what the money lenders will charge. And after a year or two, if the group is regular in savings, it becomes eligible for taking a loan from the bank. Then the loan is sanctioned in the name of the group, and it is meant to create self-employment opportunities for all the members. So let's say, for example, small loans are provided to the members, and for releasing their mortgage land, for meeting the working capital that is needed in agriculture, like buying seeds or fertilizers or raw materials, etc., or for housing materials, for acquiring assets like sewing machine, hand looms, cattle, etc. So most of the important decisions regarding the saving and loan activities, etc., is taken by the group as a whole, as all the members of the group. And the group will decide the regards of the loans to be granted or not. So basically the purpose, the amount, the interest to be charged, repayment, how to schedule it, everything is decided by the group members. So it is the group which is responsible for the repayment of loan. Any case of non-repayment of loan by any one of the members is taken up seriously by other members of the group. And because of this feature that everyone is equally responsible, the banks are willing to lend these poor women, who are organized in self-help groups, even though they have no collateral, still because they have this thing that even if one person doesn't pay the loan, everyone takes it upon themselves. Okay, so the self-help group helps borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. So they can get timely loans for a variety of purposes like we have decided, and that also at a very good interest rate. Okay, so you can clearly say that right now you can say that self-help groups, these are the building blocks of the organization of the rural people, because not only does it help the women to become financially self-reliant, but also the regular meeting of group, it provides a platform to discuss and act on so many social issues such as health, nutrition, domestic violence, etc. So basically, a self-help group consists of certain number of people who will pull their savings. It has around 15 to 20 members. And once they have pulled enough savings, they start giving loans to the members at very simple rate of interest. And this will help in reducing the functioning of informal sectors of credit. And after a year, if the group is consistent in saving a good amount of money, like I have already told you all earlier, it will be open, it will be eligible for taking loans from the bank. And the loan is sanctioned in the name of that self-help group. That means all the members of that group. It is basically loans are approved basically to create self-employment opportunities for the members. That if we are going to give them money, they are going to become self-dependent. And for what reason do the self-help group people give loans? So basically they give loans if a member's land is mortgaged, or they need some money for working capital, or they want to build their house, or they want to buy an asset. So for all these kind of things, it's not for like my son's wedding or something like that. But requirement is should also fetch some more productivity. So for all that, the loans are provided by the self-help groups. And most important is if a non-repayment of loan is taken very, very seriously. And because of this only, banks are willing to lend loans, especially to the poor women when organized in a self-help group. Okay, so why do you think self-help groups are very popular? Because number one, they help the borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral, very, very important, which is a major problem in the rural areas, especially with the landless laborers and the poor people over there. Also, they can get timely loans for a variety of purposes, and that also at a reasonable interest rate. They are the building blocks of the organization of the rural poor. It helps women to become self-reliant, and the regular meeting of these groups provide a platform to discuss and act on so many social issues that we are facing, like health, nutrition, domestic violence. So if they're meeting regularly, if someone wants to speak out, they have an opportunity. Okay, this brings us to a self-help group that we will be learning about, which is the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. It is one of the biggest success stories in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs at a reasonable rates. So it started in 1970 as a very small project that was Grameen Bank. and now it has about 6 million borrowers in about 40,000 villages, and this is spread across Bangladesh. So almost all of the borrowers and women, they belong to the poorest sections of the society, and that's why you can say that this is one of a very good success stories in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs. These borrowers, they have proved that not only are poor women reliable borrowers, but they can also start and run variety of small income generating activities successfully. Uh, the founder of this Grameen Bank of Bangladesh is Professor Muhammad Yunus. Okay, he is even a recipient of 2006 Nobel Prize of Peace. He has some beautiful words to say that if credit can be made available to the poor people on terms and conditions that are appropriate and reasonable, these millions of small people with their millions of small pursuits can add up to create the biggest development wonder. Okay, so this is the success story of the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. It was started in 1970 as a small project by Professor Muhammad Yunus. Grameen Bank right now has over 6 million borrowers in 40,000 villages spread across Bangladesh, and almost all the borrowers are women and they belong to the poorest sections of the society. These borrowers have proved that poor women can start and run a variety of small income generating activities, and that too very successfully. This is a picture of, Professor Muhammad Yunus. Okay, he is the first Nobel Prize winner from Bangladesh. He is the founder of the Grameen Bank, that is the rural bank, in 1976, and he started microfinancing by giving out a loan of $27 to 42 women in a village in Bangladesh. If the society was structured for self employment, there would be no reason to fear being poor, because if you're self employed, you're self dependent. This is some pictures of self help groups. Like you can see, they can even teach stuff to each other. I can see in most of them, they're teaching or they're learning, they're studying. I have come across a really good self-help group called Seva, which is in Ahmedabad. That is also really good, you know, self-help group you should know about, because this one is Bangladesh, and I think we should know about our group also. I think the name of the lady who founded that was Ela Ela Bhatt. It's Ella Bhatt, and Seva is also an organization of poor self-employed women workers. Uh, it is also a very important self-help group of India. Uh, they do not obtain, basically these are the women who earn a living through their own labor or small businesses, and they cannot obtain regular salary. Okay, so they cannot get the welfare benefits like the workers in the organized sectors do. They are unprotected. They are the unprotected labor forces of our country. Okay, so the female labor force in India are around 94% of them. Upon about 94% of the female labor force in India is in the unorganized sector, and so Seva helps them, to get the benefits of the organized sector. In fact, if I remember correctly, who had come to meet her? Just a minute, let me read. Yes, Hillary Clinton had come to meet her had met Ela Bhatt in 1995. So Ela Bhatt is a fantastic woman, and Seva is a very good organization, SEWA, all right, and it means Self-Employed Women's Association. So there are so many like these self-help groups in India, and you should know about it. So your homework, little bit homework for this session is going to be, I want you all to uh, find out at least 3 self-help groups in India, which are very good. And out of these 3, if you can find one that is in Maharashtra around you, it would be very nice. Of course, I already know a few, but I would like if you do the research and find their names, find their logos, and also find the purpose of that self-help group. Like for example, Seva is for the women who are in the unorganized sector, so that they can get the benefit of the organized sector. Like that, there is one in India, one in Maharashtra, that is very nice. I think that's Sneha. You can find out about that also. And I want you to find out about another one. So there are 3. I want you to find out about them and about the self-help groups. So with this, we have finished the chapter today. All right. So next class, I'm going to do a quick revision through all the points that we've studied and covered in this chapter. This chapter is there in your examination. If you have any doubts, note them down. We will be organizing a Zoom session for the doubt clearance, and I would be more than happy to help you out that time. With this, I end today's class. Children, stay home, stay safe, take care, and keep learning. Thank you.